to The Pitch with Sarah and Manny Delcarmen. Today we have a very special guest, Mayor Marty Walsh. Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Yeah. We wanted to talk to you about Manny's favorite thing, baseball, and how you think the Red Sox and everything's going to go forward while we are in this pandemic. Do you think we'll have a season?
Yeah, I think there'll definitely be a season. I think right now, I think it's the players that are working, negotiating with the owners, and obviously they have to do that for their own salaries. But I think there'll be a season. I think it'll look very different than what we used to. I think if we see fans in the stand, it's probably towards the end of the season and playoff time. But yeah. I think for the game, you have to have a season. I just think it's really important. I don't think you have obviously strike years where certain parts of seasons have been canceled and some seasons canceled in the past leagues, but this is not one of those situations. So I really think it's important to have a season. And it's important for the older players to have a season because some of them, I'm thinking like the Bruins, Zdeno Chara, seasons he has left, but, he's on a team that's doing incredible and he's in his 40s, and how many, I'd love to say he has 5 more years left, but he probably doesn't. His body doesn't. So I think for the older players, not having a season because of this will be difficult.
Definitely.
Marty, do you think, not forcing the players to agree and come back and get back to a regular season, you think it'll affect the players? Because I know some players is like 50-50. Some of them are saying yes, some are saying no. Like imagine some of these superstars in all these sports not really happy playing and probably won't perform the same. Do you think that'll be a problem, or do you think that they'll come to the best agreement? Because I saw the proposal myself, and I really don't agree with it. I'm an ex-player. I'm not even playing. So what do you think about it?
Well, I have a question for you because I don't know the answer to it. What impact does the fans actually have on the game? Meaning the crowd. You should juice up, I'm sure, playing in front of them. But what impact does it have on the outcome of the game?
Well, for me, the outcome of the game, I think it's going to be what it's going to be. But let's just say for me, pitching-wise, 50,000 fans at Fenway Park. I come in with the bases loaded, facing Derek Jeter, Alex Rodriguez in the bottom of the 8th, right before I gave the ball to Jonathan Papelbon, and I come in and strike the next 2 guys, and that place just explodes with the fans. So just imagine not having the fans. Like for me, I know a lot of players feed off it, so it would just be a different look. Not having fans, when you strike somebody out, it's like, okay, all you hear is the coach like, good job, Manny, opposed to the fans going crazy. So some guys do feed off of that. And as the outcome of the game, I can't answer that because I don't know what the outcome will be without the fans, to be honest.
So, I think that when you think about the season as a player, I think that in some cases it's your job. And I think that if the season does happen, now obviously I'm assuming the owners are looking for a reduction in the salary, so it's probably causing a lot of problems, which is going to be a big issue there. But I think for the players, obviously depending on who you are and where you are in your career, if you cancel the season, do you pick up where you are this year? So for example, if you're a free Mookie Betts signed with the Dodgers, let's assume is that 1 year off his contract already? Or does he go in there as a fresh guy? If whoever's eligible free agency after this season, does that affect them if they're not eligible next year? They go in. So I think all those particulars have to be worked out. But I think for the city, I'll just as a fan, and I'm a huge sports fan. I love it. I love it all. I think the coronavirus. I think the coronavirus has had a psychological impact on a lot of different people. Not necessarily long lasting. I just think it has an impact on us. And I think having a distraction and baseball and all the other sports, that's an important distraction I think we need right now to start to come back to some normalcy in life. And not to put that on the players or the leagues, but I do think it's really important that distraction is in place. I think as we move forward in this virus, depending on where we are in numbers, I don't think it's unrealistic to think about, do we have a stadium that might be half full? That has separated seating and things like that to get some fans in the stadium. Not starting out, but towards the end of the season. I think that potentially could happen. I've gone to a few Super Bowls, and when you go to the Super Bowl, it's a different experience than going to a regular football game, meaning that you have to go through security, metal detectors, and all that stuff. And you get in and out of the stadium. We have to change the way that we get in and out of the stadium if we allow some fans in there, so that there's not these hordes of people kind of in the runways and stuff like that. I think that's probably going to be the biggest decision moving forward. How do you bring fans back to the game, into the stadium? Because the fans,
Yeah.
they're here.
I mean, I agree. I'm being optimistic about it. I mean, I've talked to, people at Nesson to see what they're going to try to do with the proposals. I mean, I think the players, the way all the money that gets thrown out in MLB today, like these players need to definitely come back to an agreement. I know it's a cut for this year, but they're not the only ones sacrificing themselves, whatever with this pandemic going on, so I'm hoping and praying that they do come to an agreement, because I agree. We need something to go back to normal, not having baseball in the summer, which is a summer sport. And it definitely needs to come to an agreement. I'm hoping to do it sooner than later. And I hope the players do agree with something and get back on the field. So.
And I think the TV contracts, I don't know what baseball's TV contract is. I think the best one is football. But I think if you have baseball and you can't have live fans, the TV contract's going to get that much more important, because people are going to be watching on TV, looking for something else. I mean, you can only watch the 04 World Series, the 13 World Series, 17 World Series so many times. You just in 07, you can't. I mean, and I think people are just dying. Like, when
I don't mind watching those 07.
The pitching was probably amazing. It was the most amazing pitching ever in that baseball team. But I think that even TV's looking for something, because they have the same stuff on all the time. So I just think that there's an opportunity to make up some of the lost revenue on TV. I'm not a baseball guy, obviously, in the operation office, but people are going to tune in and watch.
No, that's definitely going to generate money, and if that's what has to happen, I think they will make a lot of money, because people do miss baseball, they miss sports, and especially being from New England. But something needs to happen just to kind of get us back to normal a little bit.
I totally agree. Hey, I want the Celtics playoffs. I mean, we were on a good run right there, and we're missing it.
Well, right now we should have the Celtics in the second round of the playoffs.
Right.
I think the Bruins are in the conference final.
Yep.
Right now. I mean, if they win, the Red Sox you're in the part of the season now where you start to really pay attention as a fan, because the first few games you're filling out. Now you're paying attention because the standings are starting to take shape and form. And then the Patriots start mini camp in a couple weeks. I mean, you can't beat this time of year when it comes to sports. And that's why not having it for the last 3 months has been tough.
I know, absolutely. It's like,
hey,
go ahead.
Marty, on another note, I know we're talking sports and stuff and the pandemic a little bit. I just got word about this yesterday, like the Boston Marathon being canceled. My question to you is, with everything kind of reopening in different phases and stages, like, I thought the marathon would happen. Yeah. And what decision came about just to cancel it? Obviously the pandemic is still kind of under control, and they're going in the right direction, because canceling the Boston Marathon kind of, little red flags for me, at least, because it's kind of so far away in September, but it's already canceled.
Yeah, great question. That decision was, I was talking to BAA, and what the BAA was worried about, the Boston Athletic Association, was, a lot of the specialists saying there's going to be a second spike here, and the second spike could come sometime in August, September. And in order to prepare for the marathon, a lot of effort and time and money has to go into it, with runners signing up and training and getting ready. And I think that they felt that it was too risky, because you can't just cancel a marathon on the weekend before the marathon. There's just too much that goes into it.
Right.
So they came to me and they asked, my opinion and how we move forward. And the decision was made to cancel it. So they can put together a virtual marathon, which is not the same thing. It's a big loss for Boston in so many different ways. It's a loss for the sport of running. It's a loss for people who run for charity. It's a loss for about $200 million plus for an economic impact for that weekend in the city of Boston. It's a loss for the spirit of our city, because the marathon, there's been a lot around the marathon, with the bombing in 2013, and it was kind of like, we're taking this back. So it was a difficult decision, but I think that, we weren't able to move forward. It's kind of like sports, like you can have baseball without fans, but when you start to let fans back in the stadium, that's where the trickiness comes into play. And we don't control the spectators. Millions of people come in and watch the marathon, tens of thousands of runners running the marathon. And at that point, the coronavirus is still going to be very much front and center, and you can't isolate everybody that's running in that race or who's coming to watch that race. So it was really based on safety.
Well, I agree with that totally, because I am a pharmacist. So I think you've done a wonderful job. I work in the city. I think everything you are doing is correct. I'm just, I think people, the nice weather's come. What's concerning for me is people are coming out and they think Corona was canceled. So, it's not gone away. It's in the air, and everybody really does need to wear a mask. And, the criticisms of that, I think you're doing wonderful. It's awesome. I agree with everything you say all the time. So, thank you.
Marty, I'm just really happy that I played golf yesterday and I was allowed to drive a cart.
Yeah. So
that was awesome. That was awesome.
And I also think we should let driving ranges open. I don't understand why, because driving ranges, you have physical distancing there because you can't go near somebody when they're swinging the club.
Yeah, and it's just one guy literally picking up the balls and handling the balls. So I don't know what the issue is with that, but being able to, once we were allowed to play, I've been playing, and yesterday was the first time I could actually get in a cart, and believe me, I don't like walking, so it was definitely a lot better.
Where'd you golf?
Played at Ritter Golf Course in East Bridgewater.
Nice.
So I'm playing DW in Brockton on Sunday.
Good for you. I'm not much of a golfer. I do tournaments. That's about it.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I do a bunch of tournaments, and most of them are canceled at the moment, with the pandemic going on. But, hey, another question, since we're on this topic, like, I read that June 8th, restaurants are supposed to open, like, I don't know what the capacity is, the number of people that could be in there. Is it more for outdoor patio? Because I'm reading a lot of different stuff, and I just kind of want to.
The governor's going to announce today at 2:00 restaurants. I don't have the exact dates yet, but the rumor was that he was going to have maybe start in the outdoor and then have a couple weeks from now indoor dining going on. 6 feet distance apart from each other inside the restaurant, outside the restaurant. In Boston, we created a special permit to allow restaurants. They have to apply for it and get approved, but to do outdoor dining that don't have outdoor dining right now. We have about 275 applications that we're going through right now. So hopefully next week we'll start to see some action in our restaurants. I mean, they need it. They're dying. And then,
well, the reason why I bring it up is because I live in East Bridgewater, and at Ritter Golf Course where I play golf, there's a restaurant called Audrey's Restaurant, and I'm a celebrity bartender that Sarah can attest to it. I learned how to become even though I forgot everything. Even though I forgot how to do everything bartending because of the pandemic, I need to learn everything again. But Audrey's in East Bridgewater, he's trying to figure out ways to do outside seating, and he has a function room that he can open all the windows. And, so it'd be pretty cool if they allow him to do that stuff too in other restaurants, because a lot of people tell me they're tired of being home and they want to go have a drink, and the golf courses are full of people. And if you can have an outdoor patio or something outside, it'll be definitely awesome.
Yeah, they'll know today. They'll know today by 2:00. The governor's going to announce it, and then there'll be probably a website that they can do it.
Oh, that's perfect. Marty, I have to tell you, I don't know if you want one of Manny's drinks, though. We gotta work on his bartending skills a little bit more.
No, hey Marty, if you're high maintenance, then go somewhere else. I made Sarah here an apple martini. I thought it was pretty good. She didn't like it. I gave her another one. Didn't like it. I made her a third one. Didn't like it. By the fourth one, I go, dude, the owner's gonna fire me if I keep giving you all these martinis. And then finally, I think I perfected it. But I could definitely make you a good drink, and I'm definitely gonna talk to him to see if I can get you out there. I'll pay for dinner, whatever you want to come out to Audrey's. And
I'll come out. Yeah, I stopped drinking 25 years ago, so you can imagine I was not a high-end drinker.
And last thing before we let you go, unless Sarah has any more, the beaches. What do you think? Because I mean, my kids right now, obviously, we became teachers overnight with this pandemic. I don't remember half the stuff that I gotta help my son with and from school, but I mean, they've been here in the house. We let them play outside, whatever. But the beaches, the summer's around the corner. Like, what do you think for the beaches? Because I know they say you got to wear a mask. I can't tan this face with a mask on. Like, I can't do this.
No,
like what are your thoughts on it? Because
I think that on beaches, as long as families stick together, you can obviously take the mask off if you're walking around and you're amongst other people. You should have it ready to go. the virus is still contagious. It's very contagious. And I'll just give you numbers in Boston. So we've shut Boston down for 3 months, no business, nothing going on here. About 10% of our population has had the coronavirus or has antibodies for it. So that means 700,000 people in Boston. So let's round it up a little bit. About 600,000 people in Boston have not had the coronavirus. So as we start to come back together again, there's a lot more people that still can get the coronavirus that haven't gotten it yet. Right. And the fear isn't necessarily you, Manny, or me, or us. It's our parents, our grandparents, it's older people, it's people with pre-existing conditions. Those are the people we have to watch out for. And you know, the large amount of people, the majority of people that passed away are older people. And some people have said, well, you know, we're going to lose the older population, but the younger people are safe. Well, that might be the case, but that older population might have had 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 more years left in their life that was taken from them. So we still have to be very careful with it as we go into the summer months. I don't think it's going to, I mean, I pray that it just disappears. That's not going to be the case, unfortunately. We're going to be dealing with coronavirus in the new norm here in the United States, probably until the end of the year, if not into next year. And that's unfortunately, that's the reality of the situation. And we're not used to that. I mean, this stuff happens in other places. It doesn't happen in Boston. It doesn't happen in Massachusetts. It doesn't happen in America. And now that we have the pandemic here, it's incumbent upon all of us to be disciplined on it.
Right.
Yeah,
that actually leads into what we think, you know, what do you think the future of Boston is going to look like going forward? Because like right now, you go into the city, it's very quiet. I've worked on Newbury Street. It's so eerie. You know, how do you see it going forward, especially if we're going to have a second wave in the fall?
I see a little more activity. When I say a little more, not a lot more, you know, to the left of me right now is Faneuil Hall. I can look out the window and see Faneuil Hall. Yeah. And for the last 3 months, I've seen at most 3 people walking around Faneuil Hall at most. And I look out the window right now, and there's about 10 or 11. So you're starting to see a little more activity happening in the city. Most people that are walking have masks on, and they understand, you know, they have the masks on. And I think we're going to see a lot of masks, and I think we're going to see a lot of kind of social distancing, if you will. But I think we are going to start seeing people coming back into the city. You know, it's going to be a while before we start seeing, you know, the patios. Sam Adams just opened up a terrace across the street from me. It's going to be their first summer, and I'm watching them put social distancing for tables. I mean, they're expecting to pack hundreds of people in there. They're not going to be able to open that way. So it's going to be a slow process till we get back to normal. I'm hoping by, you know, next spring, next summer, we're back to where we were, and we're not worried about the players going to play. We're going to be in the stands. I mean, all of that. Go to concerts, go to the beach, and not worry about it. All of that stuff hopefully is going to change as we get through the rest of this year. But 2020 is going to be a long year because of
I definitely agree.
I agree with everything. And, you know, for me, sports, you know, obviously health is the biggest thing. I mean, I have kids. I mean, we all have families. And for me, I'd rather, you know, get this taken care of. So if we got to just be on the beach and be 12 feet apart from the next person, I mean, it's really not that bad. I know it's not the same, but I mean, it can be worse. It really can be worse. But I think you guys are doing a great job, you know, being insightful with all the information. And, you know, I'm just glad you guys gave our cards back, because I wasn't going to go walking playing golf anymore. So I'm really happy.
And what you just said, Manny, is really important. We just got to beat this, and we just got to get through it. And the more disciplined we are right now with all this, the quicker we get through it. And if we get sloppy with it, we take masks off and stop worrying about it, then it lingers on for a longer time. So I agree with what you said. The golf cart too. Like I said, I'm not much of a golfer, but I certainly don't want to be walking 18 holes. I don't golf that much, so I really can't complain about it. I do by tournaments. You can probably hit the ball pretty good. I can't. When I get up to the tee box, I have no idea where it's going to go. Like literally no idea.
I just try to hit it. I just try to hit it straight. I try to hit it straight. That's all I try to do. Sometimes it doesn't work.
Show me how to golf.
Yeah, but one of these days, maybe hopefully sooner than later, I'll get you out to Audra's early. We go play golf first, and then take you over there for dinner.
Love to do that.
I'll join you for dinner. All right. Thank you for everything you're doing. You're doing a great job, and thanks for being on our show today. We'll let you get back to work.
No, I've known Manny for a long time. He does a lot of great things with our kids and in our community, and I appreciate his story. Is an amazing story. You know, he's an inspiration to a lot of young kids, and the fact that you do what you do, Manny. Thank you for doing that. This is my honor to be on here. The only thing that he has to get me, I'm going to get it from a signed autograph baseball.
Dude, I told you, I already had it for you.
That's all I want. That's all I want.
I sent your secretary a text like, what does he want to send to? I already have it because I know you're so big on social distancing. I don't want to,
Yeah, so we'll get it. So,
just show up at your house,
Yeah, I'll put you right next. I'll put you right next to Mike Lowell and Big Papi.
Oh, there we go. I like it.
That's
I
awesome.
can dig it.
Manny. So
I love it.
we really appreciate having you and all the insight on everything. I'm sure people will, love hearing what you have to say, and so just, I got you on speed dial, so just make sure you respond when I text you.
anytime, buddy. Anytime. And you ever need me to come back on, I'd love to.
Oh, great.
Appreciate it.
All right. We'll see
Enjoy
you
the
soon.
day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Marty.
Bye.